All right, it is Tuesday, March 26th. Relatively slow session this morning, kind of within the realm of expectations that we had coming into today. It is a holiday week. The market is closed on Friday. Generally speaking, during those holiday weeks, you are going to have some slower action, bit of consolidation, bit of range bound, bit of chop, and that is exactly what we have seen, well, for the majority of today, with the exception of the close. We did see a nice move into the close there. Of note, whenever you have these big volatility expansion moves, I've mentioned this before, but always keep in mind following that volatility expansion move, a trend day or anything like that, a big breakout, what you want to be expecting is a bit of contraction, is some slower action. And again, that is primarily what we've been seeing following that FOMC move and then that overnight action from last Thursday. You just have kind of 3 sessions, even 4 sessions, if you include the first part of today, that just shows drift, right? A lot of overlapping bars, not a lot of directional action. I'm pretty sure that on ES today, look at how long ES traded within that opening 5-minute bar this morning. I mean, that is the bulk of the trading day, trading within that opening 5-minute bar. So that's a really slow session. Obviously, we do get that move here into the close, but essentially, we're trading within some choppier conditions. The main watch today was that 5,300 level of interest and whether or not buyers could show a continuation move of that overnight gap higher. We can see that sellers did materialize there at the 5,300, giving way later in the afternoon to a test of that 5,280 and now into that 61% retracement zone. So typically, like I've mentioned before, this 50 to 61% area can be considered a Fibonacci buy zone when it comes to retracement. So I'll be watching essentially today's low to see what kind of action we get versus today's low, just lumping that in with the 61% retracement for tomorrow's session. Now, I'd mentioned as early as Thursday afternoon and Friday as well that, a retest of the prior breakout point definitely not out of the question and wouldn't be all that unusual considering the setup at hand here. We have a breakout, retest of the breakout point, again, well within the realm of normal when it comes to the technical setup. Price is getting pretty close there, right? So we want to start expecting some buyers to really be stepping in, if not versus the 61, then this zone right through here. So I'll be paying very close attention to that zone if we are testing it tomorrow or perhaps the following day on Thursday. Thursday is going to be the last regular trading day of this week. And we do have GDP. So we'll see if price is just kind of oscillating here into that GDP announcement, and then we could get a decent move away from that pivot. As far as tomorrow, again, just looking primarily at how price trades versus today's low. It's going to be pretty similar for NQ. NQ a little bit different in the sense that it is not yet breaking the prior day low. So if we draw that same fib here on NQ, there we go. So NQ back into this prior bounce area. You could see kind of a new near-term range has developed here. The main watch on NQ today, very similar to ES, was how price traded versus that 18,620. You can see a rejection there, right? Now back down into 18,500 and almost into that 18,400 with prior day low right through here. So again, for tomorrow on NQ, watching the action versus today's low as the primary reference point. Again, that is going to be depending on how active the overnight session is. For individual names, list remains quite dry. We are in what I consider slow season. Oh, the one other thing before I jump into individual names that I wanted to point out, look at how broad these past 3 today was standing, those prior 3 daily bars are. So you can kind of really visualize how tight the action has been if you take a look at a SPY chart. ES is not going to show you the same thing as well, simply because ES is showing you the overnight action when you're looking at those daily candles. But if you want to take a look at regular trading hours, have a look at SPY. Look how tight those bars are. So we like to see these broad buy or sell bars, right? Some good action on those days. Just not the case. Not the case. A lot of chop. So if you've been doing less, that's definitely a good thing. You don't want to be getting chopped up on those tighter days when the action is much tighter. Obviously, it's much easier to be getting chopped up. Now, back to individual names. We do have FDX, FedEx. So this was killer today for that daily continuation play up above 285 to test this 288 area and then 291. We're looking for the continuation move through today's high for tomorrow. And then we also have UPS. This has some fresh news. Apparently they raised their guidance. The stock sold on that news. So we'll be looking at the reaction versus this daily support zone here tomorrow on UPS as a second day play. That's it. That is it. Hope everyone had a decent day considering the action. It was much slower. Definitely some better action in NQ. We've seen that for a couple of days in a row now, and that's kind of been the theme for the past couple of weeks. NQ really showing better intraday action. So if you aren't watching NQ yet, you may want to get some eyeballs on NQ. Hope everyone had a good session. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good evening.